Hello Algebra 1 students, this video is for section 2.1, so first section in chapter 2, and you need to start by turning your student journal to page 30. I'm going to read through this vocabulary. You need to pause the video and put this vocabulary into your notes. So I recommend first you watch while I read through it and then pause the video and fill in your note packet. So chapter 2 is all about inequalities. These are the symbols you might remember that we use to represent inequalities. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So the solution of an inequality is the values that make the inequality true. And the important thing here is there are many solutions. So for chapter 1, often we just had one solution, x equals 7, x equals 6. For inequalities, you're going to have many solutions. The solution set is just the set of all of the solutions of the inequality. And then we represent it often with a number line. So the graph of an inequality, it shows the solution set visually. So for example, here's my inequality. X is greater than -2. So not greater than or equal to. So I have an open circle at -2. But then this bold arrow tells me any of these numbers on the number line that are greater than -2 are part of the solution set. So again, I want you to pause the video and fill this in. I'm going to keep going and we're going to look at a few examples down here. I'm assuming you paused the video and filled in the top. So this gives you the words, the inequality, and the graph. So x is less than 2. You would represent like this. So some of you may have learned this alligator thing when you first learned inequalities, and I think that goes that the open mouth, so if this is an alligator mouth, the open mouth eats the bigger number. The way that I like to think of it, I'm just going to show you right here, is we all know that 3 is less than 5. If you look at the inequality symbol, it has a tiny part, the point, and then it has a big wide open part, which I think of as this side. So the big wide open part faces the bigger number, and the tiny point faces the smaller number. That's what I use. This is x minus 2 represented on the number line. So x is less than, oh, I said minus, I should have said x is less than 2. So the solution set is all the numbers less than 2. It's not equal to, so we put the open circle. Now, if you look down here, I'm going to jump down here. This one is x is less than or equal to 2. So notice we have that little equal under there. And you can think of this as less than along with an equal sign. So the x could be 2, or it could be any number smaller than 2. So it could be equal to 2 or smaller than 2. Up here, there's no equal to. So x cannot be 2, so that's why we do the open circle. Now some other words you might see for less than is fewer than. So put that in your notes. Some other words you might see for greater than is more than. So this is what you might see in word problems. Less than or equal to, you might see at most or is no more than. So at most or is no more than would be used to refer to x is less than or equal to. And greater than or equal to, you might see is at least or is no less than. So for is no more than, I think, in my head, I think, oh, it can't be bigger than. So it's got to be less than. Is at least, that means that number is the smallest it can be, but it could be larger. Okay, one more thing I want you to put on page 30 in your notes is this table. So again, if you prefer, you could pause the video and fill this in later, but I'm going to say we have some symbols here, and the symbols are going to be what you're used to: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. I'm not doing this very neatly. Hopefully you'll do it better. Add, subtract, multiply. Oops, I need one more column here. Divide. Okay, and then these are the key phrases we're going to be on the lookout for when we're looking at word problems. So add means plus, right? We all know that. Spell it correctly, P-L-U-S. And for inequalities, you might see the words more than. And sum is also a word we use to represent addition. So plus, more than, sum. For subtraction, we're going to have minus, less than, and difference. That's a harder one, or we don't see that one as often. That is the answer to a subtraction problem. Multiplication, we have product, which is the answer to a multiplication problem. And often in word problems, you might see like twice, which would mean times 2. Also, I'm going to add of. We had that in chapter 1 when we talked about multiplication, but of is also used for multiplication. And then this is divide. And the answer to a division problem is quotient. So again, if you want to pause the video and fill that in, that would be nice. Hopefully you will make it neater than mine. That is it for, I'm going to call our note-taking video.